Students, myself A. Victoria Anand Mary, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Computer Science, St. Joseph College of Arts and Science Autonomous, Kadalur. Today we'll see some of the basic concepts of programming in C. Let's start with the structure of a C program. The outline of the presentation would be Introduction to the Programming Language and Structure of a C Program. Introduction to Programming Language. A programming language is a set of commands, instructions, and other syntax used to create a software program. Languages that programmer use to write code are called high-level languages. This code can be compiled into a low-level language which is recognized directly by the computer hardware. High-level languages are designed to be easy to read and understand. This allows programmer to write source code in a natural fashion using logical words and symbols. Each programming language has its own syntax. The programmer have to follow these syntax to write the program. And next is the structure of a C program. Now let's see the overall structure. The overall structure have many sections or divisions. First one is documentation section, link section, definition section, global declaration section, and main function has two parts, declaration part and executable part. Next is a subprogram section which has a multiple subprograms, otherwise called as user-defined functions. First section, documentation section. The documentation for a program is done using the comments. Comment means explanation or annotations that are included in a program for documentation or clarification purpose. Comments are completely ignored by the compiler during compilation and have no effect on program execution. Comments can be categorized into two types. One is multi-line comment, another is single-line comment. Multi-line comments start with backslash asterisk symbol and end with asterisk and backslash. Some compilers support single-line comments starting with double backslash. Link section. The first statement to be checked by the compiler. Link section or preprocessor directive always preside with hash sign. They contain information which are required by the compiler during compilation. Example, hash include stdio.h. These can be termed as predefined libraries. For using these functions, we have to include its corresponding header file in our program. Some of the common header files are stdio.h, standard input-output function, console input-output function, and for including some of the mathematical functions like cos, tan, square root, we use math.h header files. Next is definition section. In this definition section, we can define the symbolic constant. We can use some of the symbolic constants like pi in our program. For example, the general syntax would be hash symbol, define keyword should be used, pi 3.14. Here we are going to assign the value 3.14 into a symbolic constant variable pi. Next is global declaration section. A variable can be declared globally or locally. A globally declared variable can be accessed from any part of the program. A locally declared variable can only be accessed from inside the function or within a block in which the variable is declared. Next is main function. A C program consists of one or more functions that contain a group of statements which perform a specific task. A C program must have at least one main function. We can create our own function or use the functions that have been declared in C libraries called predefined function. In order to use predefined function, we have to include their appropriate header files in our program. Declaration part has all the variables which are going to be used in our program An executable part has a set of statements and it start or begin at the opening of the brace and end at the closing of the brace. A statement is an executable part of a program. It will do some actions. Each line is a statement that end with a semicolon. There are two main statements used in C program. First one is printf, another is scanf statement. Printf function is used to print the character, string, float, integer, octal or hexadecimal values onto the output screen. We use printf's function with %d format specifier to display the value of an integer value or integer variables. To display a character, we use %c. To display float variable, we use %f. To display a string variable, we use %s. And /n is used to generate a new line after printing a statement. And next, scanf statement or scanf function is used to read character, string, numeric data from the keyboard. It is going to take the input from the user. The two statements are given below. Printf, enter any character /n, scanf %c, &ch. Here in printf statement, the characters will be printed as it is, generating a new line, and scanf statement is going to get the input from the user. The input type should be a character. And subprogram, otherwise called user-defined functions. The subprogram sections deal with all user-defined functions that are called from the main function. These user-defined functions are declared and usually defined after the main functions. This is the pictorial representation of the overall structure of a C program. We'll recall each of this section in detail. The documentation section is used to document your program using the command lines. Next, link section is used to link the various predefined libraries to your program. Definition section used to define the symbolic constants, if any, to be used in the program. Next, global declaration will declare the variable as global, which can be used from any block of the program. And main function has executable statements, and program execution also start at the main function, which has a collection of statements. Finally, we have subprogram, which are used to define functions or user-defined functions called from main function. Thank you.